Welcome to Focus Washington. I'm Chuck Conconi. My special guest today is Dr. Fuad Hussein, who's Chief of Staff to President Barzani of the Kurdish Regional Government, better known as the KRG. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
What's the message? You've been here in Washington as an official delegation, going around talking to people in government. What is the message that you're bringing to Washington this week?
The message is about the relationship between Kurdistan region and the United States government after 10-year liberation of Iraq from the dictatorship of Saddam Hussein. How is the situation, what we have reached, what we can do together, and what's the future of the region and Iraq?
Well, what really is the politics like in Iraq today? With the border regions, and what's the future outlook look like, particularly from your vantage point, Kerbal?
The political process in Iraq, which started in 2003 after the liberation, it went well in the first years. But nowadays we have the feeling that it is going wrong direction, not in the direction of building a democratic state. While the other Iraq, and that's Kurdistan region, we build a democratic society, we have a very developed economy, an open society, tolerant society. So we are trying to get this example also into Baghdad. It creates problem for us. So one of the reasons why we are here to talk with the United States government about how to change this path in Baghdad, which is going to the wrong direction, and the United States can help us to bring it back to the right track so that we can build a real democratic system in Iraq.
Have you developed any or found any real assurances from your visit this week in talking to the United States government?
We are in discussion with them, and we will have various meetings with the officials here, and we are hopeful. We are hopeful that at the end we must build a new Iraq. A new Iraq must depend on a democratic system, not going back to a dictatorship.
Well, how do you feel, though, about the tension between Baghdad and Erbil? How can it be resolved?
Well, in the first place, it can be resolved between us. I mean, the Iraqi government and Kurdistan region. And we are in contact and negotiation with each other. But we need also the right signals from Washington, the right signals to give to the both sides that both sides must be committed to the Constitution, and we are committed to the Constitution. Baghdad government must be committed to the political process, which can lead to a democratic system.
So do you feel sanguine about that?
You see, here we have the feeling that some of our friends, they don't understand what's going on, or they don't want to understand what's going on. So we are trying to convince them, if Iraq will go to the wrong direction, it will be a huge problem, not only for Iraq, but for the whole area. We have got a lot of problem in the area. We have got Syrian problem, we have got a problem in Lebanon, we have got Palestinian-Israelis problem. So Iraq must be an example to solve the problems and not to create more conflicts.
Well, what about the recent demonstrations against Maliki, from within the Iraqi Sunni community?
That's a good question. Maliki is not only against the desire of Kurdish people, but we see that even the Sunnis in Iraq, they've got problem with Maliki. And many Shias have got problem with Maliki. So that means everybody can see that the political path is going to the wrong direction, and Maliki is behaving as one-man show in Iraq, and that's not according to the Constitution. And the Sunni community has got huge problem with Maliki, and they are trying to share the power with the Shia and the Kurds in Baghdad, while Maliki is ignoring them.
Well, how do you feel, changing it a little bit, the important was the recent peace talks between the government of Turkey and the PKK, or better known as the Kurdistan Workers' Party?
For us, in the first place, the relation of Kurdistan region in Iraq is very good with Turkey, with Turkish government. But we have got also Kurdish community in Turkey, and in the past, there was the policy of denial of Kurdish rights in Turkey. But this government and Prime Minister Erdogan started a new process. First, by recognizing that the Kurds exist in Turkey. Second, starting a dialogue with the Kurdish leaders in Turkey, and the peace process. We are happy with that peace process. We are supporting it. And I think gradually that will lead to a very stable situation in Turkey, and Turkey can play an
even with the
role.
PKK.
Yes, I think the negotiation started with PKK, yes.
What's the economic development and the progress, including the role of U.S. business interests in that area?
In Iraqi Kurdistan, as I said, Iraqi Kurdistan has got a very rapid developed economy, and we have got oil and gas, but Iraqi Kurdistan is rich of many other resources. And the American business community, gradually they found their way to Kurdistan, and we have got also huge, big oil companies, American oil companies, who are there, such as ExxonMobil and Chevron. And
part of your trip here this week is are you talking about American investment, more investment there?
Yes, we have various meetings with American businessmen, with American companies, and we are encouraging American companies to come to Kurdistan.
Well, you mentioned Syria and the crisis that's going on there. How will that affect the Kurdish regional government?
The crisis in Syria will affect, and is affecting actually, the whole area. We received now 110,000 refugees from Syria in our area, in Kurdish area, in Iraqi Kurdistan. And I think if the conflict will continue, and perhaps it will continue in Syria, we will receive more refugees there. But politically also, what happens in Syria, it will affect Iraq, the Sunni area, the Shia area, but also the Kurdish area. So if this conflict will continue, to be honest, I think it will have effect on all neighboring countries, and that include Iraq, Kurdistan region, Jordan, Lebanon, and Turkey. The time has come to think seriously about find solution for the fighting in Syria, because the whole country has been destroyed, the population are running away, the economy has been destroyed, the culture heritage has been destroyed. So even if there will be a change in Syria, I don't know how they can build this country.
And then the refugee problem, to get back to it, as you mentioned, with Syria, is Baghdad helping in any way?
No, Baghdad is not helping. To be honest, the only support is coming from UNHCR, United Nations Refugee Organizations, but we don't have any support help from any other countries, while the refugees from Syria who fled to Jordan and to Lebanon, they receive a lot of support from international community. But the refugees in Iraqi Kurdistan, nobody is helping, nobody except the Kurdistan region, and that's our duty. We are doing that. But gradually, I mean, we have got now 110,000, and we expect that it will reach 1 million, and then it will be for our capacity, it will be too much.
Dr. Hussein, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm Chuck Conconi, and this has been Focus Washington.